Mr. Vyas, sir, for this session. The subject of this session is service above self. And just two lines on Vyas, sir, because the work and the magnanimity of his profile of his is something which cannot be. It can be probably spelled the best by him. But in few lines, if I have to introduce Vyas, sir, I would say Vyas, sir, is someone who's been recognized and acknowledged, and not only by awards and applauds by government, national and international, but even by very small people like us, professionals like us, who have spent 2 decades, more than 2 decades in the industry, in the immense value and impact he has brought, not only at the professional work level, but at the personal level, to bring the sea change. Uh, uh, if one talks about in a very categorical way, the impact he's brought in the sugar industry, the impact he's brought in the academic space, the social sector. He's be is in the rural agri space. One is in the professional parlays, which is in terms of growth and ROIs, but the other is also impacting the lives of people in that ecosystem, at all levels, whether it was the stakeholders, whether it was the people who are working like us. Uh, it's just beyond words. I've not come across uh, a soul like him. The other thing is that, and today he is giving that value to the generation Z. So he is also immensely learned and blessed to know a lot about our Vedas, about our scriptures. So his insight and depth is very, very wide, and we are all privileged to have him here. Thank you, sir, for accepting and coming on this platform of Maven, and coming with such a beautiful and immensely, I would say, a calling, a need for today's time, which is service above self. I think it's not existing, and it's very important to bring that up from, I would say, who better than people like you? So with these words, I request Vyasa to to come and share and give his light to all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning to everybody in the early morning. I am exactly 2:30 in my place. I'm sitting in Australia, New South Wales, but you guys are sitting in other part of India, maybe other side of the country also. I was working in a different organizations in a different level of one group only, which it has sugar industry, textile industry, and we have other sectors like iBank and Rural Foundation. So I have the opportunity to work with these people, and then I'm the main key person who joined the first employee of the company in 1980s, and I continued till 2019, almost 35 years of my service, only to one organization, and we all grown together. I should thank all my colleagues who have given me so much support when I was working, even today, and then all my bosses, all my group chairmen, and then my MDs, my directors, and all my friends, and presently all my students for the past 8 years, and then all my supporters, which I used to have some classes. That encouragement gives me to learn more and more and more, and give them more and more. So I started like that, my career like that. The service is that what I think that it should be to the society, to the community. You should voluntarily do that service without getting any reward or anything, any money or any such things. You should give honestly your service to them. And then, in fact, in one way, one step ahead, I'll say that You give the service, establish, and leave from the place so that the system will take care of that. During my, I have, fortunately, I have a very good bosses, and then I learned from a lot. Like I worked with an audit firm called Jagannatha Vishwanathan and Fraser. I have an excellent bosses, Srinivasan and Jagannatha Iyengar and Vishwanatha Ayers. They are all the giants of that industries, and then they taught me the values, and then contented life, and then truthful to loyal and truthful to the industry, whatever you are doing it to the bosses. I will just divide these aspects into 3 or 4 services, kind of thing. I wanted to divide this service part into club service and then kind of a vocational service, what I did that, and what type of community service I did that, what type of international service I did like that. I wanted to go through like that because so that it is easy to, myself to get clarify to the guys. See, after independence, we get, because I am 75 plus today. So you should not consider the today's scenario about my point of view, because I am going back around 40 years back, 30 years back, what was the situation on those days and how the service has taken place. After getting independence, we had the federal system, we are following that. Then we followed the Privy Council system. Then we followed SC system of 1956. And it took a long time for us to come to our own level, even though we have a lot of 5-year plan. Even after 1956, the British Samraj where we are ruled, the DNA of the people were there till almost, say, till 1960, 65, 62. I can say it was continued almost 15 to 20 years. The real impact, the government was not having that much fund because we have been bankrupted, and we are starting which one by one project. So even Indian government was doing their best, and then they were coming up in life. So my age group was when I was about school doing it. I realized that in doing my education, my studies, my masters, they were explaining what it was there. I had the opportunity to meet Sarsi Rajagopalachari, who is the first vice or Viceroy of India in my village when he visited, and he stayed there for 2-3 days. And I served him, and I used to, being a boy, we were discussing with him, and he was explaining. And I didn't understand on those days what he was being, every boy listening, I also listened to him. And later date, when I finished my schooling, normally we used to go, we immediately learn typewriting to the institution. Everybody probably my age, I'm talking on those days. And they go to some institute and learn some typewriting and shorthand to get some employment. I have come across 2-3 important people in my life which I cannot forget, what makes me to think on the service line when I was really wanted to service. They impacted me. One was that the Usha sewing machine, you heard of it, that machine was there. It was there on those days, about 250 rupees it cost. When Mr. Subra was the agent for the entire Usha sewing machine in Coimbatore district. Our districts was having, about 7 taluks and pirkas and more than 120 panchayat and all those things were there. So my panchayat unit having 20 panchayats were there. So these sewing machines, this gentleman used to give to the war widows because, we had a war in 1962 and 64 with China. And a lot of, we had a loss because you don't compare the war widows of the high-fi officers in Delhi and Bombay and Calcutta and cities. And I'm comparing the war-fi widows of the, Javedar and Sipais, and, to get whether the husbands are alive or not in the war, it took for them 70-80 years. I remember those type of, calamity they were going in. There are some few people were there in that villages. Their husbands went to the war and they lost it. Like that, there are other community like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other communities were there. These gentlemen used to give the sewing machine to these people on a cost basis, and then he will collect 10 rupees for 225 months. This 250 rupees, he will collect 25 rupees, 10 rupees per 25 months. And since he has given that money to the panchayat, he told me, actually it came through my school as a project. My master says that they are doing an women service, so I can go and help them. Then I went and started helping them. So I collect this money and go to like a piggy bank. I put an entry and give to this gentleman. So when I was asking that the cost of the machine is 250 rupees, you're collecting 10 months, don't you make some income any loss? Then he told me that, at least I have an opportunity to help these guys to come up in their life, otherwise their life will get spoiled. And moreover, he told me kindly identify some schools and get them some job for the girls, the sewing machines. So I used to go to the ex-serviceman office and find out who are all the war widows are there, who are really interested to start something, and feed this information to Subrao that you go and catch hold of that. And also I visit nearby schools when I was doing my colleges and doing my pre-university. I visit near my schools where I was living, and those days the uniform was stitched only in the schools. So I connect these stitching ladies and the schools, and they were staying in the schools, and the safety was ensured, and then they were getting some job, and then they were able to repay one mission, and they gone for two mission, three mission, like that. Some of the people have gone 3 to 4 missions, like that. Another gentleman, I remember that in the typewriting institution, one Mr. Lakshminarayanan, he was a dealer of the Underwood and Remington typewriter. On those days, there was very famous typewriters. And he used to allow these girls, because those days, if you pass lower grade typewriting examination, if you are particularly woman, female, or destitute, or below poverty line, and you will get some government job in a state government level. That was a salary that they can take care of them, and then permanent, and the things are there. So these gentlemen allow these people between an time or 1 to 3. There is a leisure time will be there in the typewriting institute. That's around 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. See, he allows all these girls to come and learn typewriting and started teaching them. And some of the time I used to sit with them in his absence. He told me to teach them, and then so the mentality I did just because my bosses were telling, my masters were telling. But I had a good opportunity to move with Subbarao and Lakshminarayanan, the two important characters, but they are not rich. They were ordinary people. But the mentality for them to do service to the society was just gone in my mind, and it stuck with me that we should also do something to society very good. So this was I thinking. Then during my college days, my chartered accountancy were that it is about those, not like this about article club of 3 or 4 years, like a 6 years course about, it's called audit club, GDA they call on those days in 60s and 50s. So we have Saturday, Sunday always holiday. So this Saturday only I used to go help Subrao and Lakshminarayan and other things, and Sunday also morning I used to go and help them. And we had one institute called Institute of Liberal Studies. The first Freedom Finance Minister, R.K. Shanmugam Chettiar, he's from my city. He's a first Freedom Finance Minister. A very learned person. He's in the cabinet of Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru. He's very close friend of Nehru and Manon, and even name anybody. He's a very, very highly learned person, highly economic person. He's a highly rich person in the society. So he started an institute called Institute of Liberal Studies. He organized the students or the age group. I will not say student, anybody age group between 20 and 40. A kind of a meeting every Sunday in our Red Cross Society hall. And then he started giving some subject. A lot of people will come and lecture, and then I started learning a lot of things from them. I was really mingling with good people, and then I used to get a connection with a lot of high officials, the district collector, and then tahsildars, and then so on and so forth. Like that, I was getting the connections with them. So I started moving with them, and since I was doing the service, I offered myself that any other service are there, we were prepared. Like me, there are 4-5 students were there with me, 4-5 boys and girls were there. So we were, volunteering ourselves to go to these services, and then with that we have started the first community Rotary Club. Normally Rotary Club will be there only in colleges, or in colleges, interactively in schools. But community Rotary Club, normally they don't allow in any district. But we spoke to R.K. Shanmugam Chettiar, we need something to do other than the ILS to go to society, we need something. Then he has talked to the Rotary governor, and in fact, he told us to start a community Rotary Club in our village. So with that, we started doing a lot of services inside and outside the village, helping people, making chits and then giving tokens, and then go organizing medical camp, making a shed for the cows and making, shelter for the bus stand, a lot of things. We collected little money ourselves. And then, the mentality was continuously covering that. Still, I get employment. I was getting, studying and other things. By the way, we were doing some part-time work, this and that. So when I joined the company, the main sector I divided into kind of, agri and farmer-based and rural-based sectors. And then other sector, I really go to from the club service to the community service area. If you take it for granted, I go like agri sector, farmer sector, and rural development sector, all those things. See what agri sector, I'm talking in earlier regime in before our liberalization. Only agri, this is agri, that is Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology. That's a COPART, one organization were there. This COPART they call in the short form. That COPART was giving money to all panchayats, for borewell, and then for some other small work, notebooks, and then kind of small work like agri based, some seed foundation, and then some horticulture foundation, like that. It's agri based technology they started giving. Some technology also started giving that. So since we have we have Panchayat Union, and there are Panchayat Raj were there with us. So all the Panchayat Raj, even though they have water, we want to dig borewell. In those days, the borewell digging cost around, it comes around 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs rupees. It will come. The Panchayat will not have that much money. So the COPART is having the money. The Panchayat people may not be able to know how to go and approach COPART. COPART is in Delhi, and they have branch only in Chennai, and Chennai branch was not functioning that well. So I used to go in my office to Chennai and then talk to them and get the form. I learned how to fill the form. See, when I was with ILS, the whole thing what my Mr. Shanmugam Chettiar's grandson, Mr. Sundarajan, taught me. Any project, anything you do, the documentation is very, very important. Till today, I'm maintaining that. Hello? Hello? I'm audible to everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay.
Continue,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. The documentation is very, very important. I was taught by this ILS department. So when I went to the compartment, what we are not able to get any of the loan. It's not a loan; it's a grant from COPART. Is that they don't know how to fill the documentation, because some of them were Hindi, some of them were English, and the Panchayat Raj fellow only know Tamil and these things. So I started helping them to fill that forms with them, and then in one shot I got one Panchayat Raj, one borewell, and that day when I got the money and then the borewell started digging, there was a huge functions were there, and they were all appreciating. And then I thought, why can't I do all the panchayat near my village? Almost we have about. Then there was a limitation. Every panchayat have a 20-kilometer range, and there are some rules and regulations. So instead of getting 20 panchayats, I start at least get 8 panchayats do that. So I tried the 10 panchayats. Finally, I got 7 panchayat got this money. So water, once you got to the people, and the joyful they get, it's immense. They were going long way with that pot and get water from there. So when it come to the panchayat, the old pipeline, they join, and they were giving water to the. It is not to the house. It used to come in the road. Every corner of the city, every corner of the road, they have there is a pipe tap, and people used to take the water from there. So one way, when we solved the water problem, we started explaining, how other money we can take from them, how we can, take technology money, referent money, and all those things were there. So I don't have time to look after what are the grants is coming and all those things, because I was busy with my office. Then because I joined that company first, and then I was discussing with my those present chairman that time. He was a joint manager. So, and there was a general manager were there. I was telling what is my view on going for services. I mean, they're all in the same thought. They were all the same line what I was thinking, but everybody's not having a time with that. So what I did that, I want to take. It's not my panchayat. It has to go to the next panchayat. They see, I am finished. They said only your panchayat union, but there are some other panchayat union, another 20 kilometer or 40 kilometer later, another 100 kilometer later, another panchayats are there. But what I thought, I may not having time. So I found out the retired school teachers, they retire, they get on those is about 8,000 rupees pension. That's just the pension they used to get. That too, it will come every 6 months once. So I got one retired English teacher. Also, the drawing come Hindi teacher, he knows English well. The two teachers, I spoke to them that you help me in filling up this form and for panchayat people. I'll pay you some money from as a student. This much only I can pay. And I also spoke to some of my own student circle who I studied chartered accountancy. With Mr. Giri and then Chandru. There are 2-3 people were there. I told them we should bring this one to our society, and they were also helping. So the headmasters, we do that. We are free only. We are prepared to help them. So we had to pay around 3,000 rupees per head. About it comes 6,000 rupees. As a money point of view, because they are agreed. So we trained these masters to fill those forms, and they were in fact very good in filling it up. And then they will come and show to me before sending the register post. Everything is in right, and then they appreciated me. It's a teacher's learning. Learning. Technology. I used to say my students. Teaching learning methodology. We can learn from the juniors, and the juniors can learn from us. The knowledge should go that. So what I learned from Chennai, I pass on to these teachers, and they were really well. They were doing it, and then they were very famous in the villages because they were the Facebook later for those guys. I slowly moved into the other area. That one area I can say that we did extremely good work. And in the same community, I was when I grow up, like when I good post and all those things, when I have a very good visibility, what is agriculture industry, what is farmer industry, how sugarcane industry is functioning, how cotton is functioning, how other areas functioning. Because from education, from my professional course, when I go for a job, and then that is totally different scenario. But back of mind, my charity service, my service was going in my mind. I should do something like that. So to create extra income to the farmer, actually there are good schemes were there, but the schemes were not implemented with the government. That's what I heard. When I read the complete annual report of every organization, they were neck to neck. Going. They were some of the sugar industries were not making profit. Some of the sugar industries were making break evens. Whereas fortunately, my sugar industries were making slightly better than others because of the cost cutting, and then day to day look after, and then our variety of kern. A lot of it. I'm not going to that sugar industry because it's a huge subject. What we made and how we made the profit, and then why we make continuously from the day one till today making the profit. This methodology, my guru taught me when I was in Fraser and Ross. There is survey, analysis, plan, execution, evaluation. Anything we used to survey. Anything, even Kapat method. 3-4 times I used to survey whether it is right or not. Then you survey, you analyze whether I'm filling up this form. This is right form. It's correct form. Analyze it. What is the cost price? So analytical is very important for any survey. After analytical, you plan that survey, how we are going to execute. That plan is very important. When you're planning, if you have any doubt, you can revisit that survey. You can revisit that analytic. This is what they were taught. then once you execute, you should not turn back. It has to go well till the end of the execution. After the execution, we normally again sit and then evaluate. The second D survey SAP method, the SAP SAPEE method, second D is method evolve. We evaluate what we did the project, whether it is wrong, whether cost cutting we have done. It is as per a decision we are able to do that. This I learned in my course when we were studying that. So I apply the same thing in all our service matter also, whether you do it. So when we apply that, the farmers, if we are able to give them a good life, an healthy life. You see, farmer is kind of for a sugar mill, farmer is a husband-wife relation. I have invested about 400 crores, on those days about 200 crores. Now it's 600 crores, 700 crores on industry. If I invest 200 crores and then I don't get a cane, that factory will go waste. Same thing, if I don't have the factory, the sugar mill, the cane, they cannot do anything. It's go waste. It's a relation between the sugarcane owner and the industry and the farmer. It is husbandry relation. So I want my farmer. There are those days we have about 16,000 registered farmers in that area. Registered and unregistered farmers. To start a sugar mill, it's a long procedure. We'll have to register a cane before starting a factory. How much cane availability there? Depends upon the cane availability. We'll have to put a sugar mill. I cannot pull the big sugar mill, and if I don't get the capacity to crush, then I will be losing there. So all these things will be there when doing a survey and analytic planning of a sugar industry. I'm coming to service part of it. So the 16,000 farmers, registered, unregistered, maybe registered 8,000 farmers, unregistered 8 to 10,000 farmers. It depends upon the season and the availability of the sugar cane they used to come. These sugarcane farmers, when we visited, see, they have about 4 acres of land, 5 acres of land, 10 acres of land, even 2 acres of land, small bit of land. But small bit of land, normally they go for some other crop because sugarcane, they require plenty of water and they'll have to wait for at least 300 days, 330 days, because small farmers cannot afford to wait that long period because they need every day to something to eat. They will have some cow, something like that, and some other crop which will feed the cow as a cattle field, and he will manage and live like that. But big farmers like more than 5 acres, 10 acres people, they'll go for sugarcane. They must be having more acres, but they will only plant 5 to 10 acres of sugarcane, and then the farmers want. But what we were thinking that what type of service we can help them, we were thinking. So I found out that while loading and unloading from the sugarcane industry, from the farmer field to the lorry, it takes long time. And the lorry sits in the main road, and they have to cut in the end of the field and walk about in the sugar field, and then the girls, and then the woman and the man, and then come and again tie it, load it. It's a long procedure, and time consumption were there. Instead of in 1 acre, if I want to cut and take, it takes almost 2 days or 1.5 days, like that. It was there. This automation, semi-automation has come later date. I'm talking on those days. I'm talking. So what we thought of it, if some road can be connected to the farmers end to end of the 10 acres, some small road of 10 feet. So my tractor or my lorry can go there. If I take that road, and then about 10 cents of land will go for them in the road path, so they'll be losing that cultivation of 10 cents. What is that you are going to give them? So I negotiate with them, you will have a quick cutting, and you don't have to pay so much labor. So I explained to them all these things. So we worked out a modality, cost modality, how it comes, all those things. Then who is to put the road? We'll have to put a tar road, then only the train. So this discussion were there only in the drawing format. It was there, who is to do the job. Then we approached the government of India for sugar industries. I remember today the lot of people like Narasimha, Lakshmi Ratan, and then Sambat, and then Tuteja, all great secretaries of the sugar industries. Particularly this Sambat, every sugar industry, they'll say Sambat committee report or Lakshmi Ratan report or Tuteja report. All even today, they are the people who wrote the report for And then later date, Rangarajan, who is the former governor of, Reserve Bank of India, based on even Rangarajan report also, only these three people name will be there. These three people, fortunately, they are from Tamil Nadu cadre, and they were not together. So 1972 to 75, this Sambat were there, 75 to 85, Lakshmi Ratan were there. And again, some other gentlemen were with, and 90 to 2000, Tuteja were there. They are all UP cadre. SK Tripathi were then, Tuteja were there. All very, 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 their minds like-minded people. They want to help the sugarcane farmers because they know farmer is the backbone of the country. And then because they worked in the agriculture, then came to the food industry. Sugar comes in the food industry. So we collect normally when we sell the sugar, we collect a fund called chess fund. Every sugar, 1 kg of sugar, we collect 2 paisa from the consumer on those days. So that money is piled up with the government of India. It was there around about 500-600 crore, 700 crore. It piled up in government of India on those days. So unutilized money in some account. Again, once government, they have a system. Once you collect some money, it will be in account. That account is meant only for that. If it is not used, that will be in that account only. If they wanted to take that money from that account, it has to go to the cabinet meeting and go to the parliament. Get up. The long procedure is there. It is not that easy. Because when I'm going to come later date, how finance will work, how much work I did, because reading the finance bill, what all the learnings I had with finance bill, because I have the accounts mind, So with that, how much benefit I got to not only the industry, but also to our service-minded people, which I'm going to explain in my coming hour. So we all went to the forum and represent. Then we should develop. We should have a cane development committee. We should have a cane development fund. So every sugar mill can draw a fund, but sugar mill contribution should be also there, because we take a draw a fund, you don't put proper road to to the end user, the agriculture farmer. And so they to have a check, they said you also invest some 10 to 20%, we invest around 80 to 90%, 80, like that. The formulation were going and then discussion were going. And finally, we succeeded. And I was instrumentation continuously going and because I was thinking my sugar farmer will not get suffer if he have a road. He can go to his house, finally going his cycle or his TVS 50 moped or whatever it is. He used to go smoothly, he can go. My thinking was like that. I have seen boys and girls in sugarcane farmer house, a very small young girl, about 2-3 years. Now they got boys and girls, and their boys and girls are studying in colleges. I've seen this 55, 60 years of my life only with these farmers and these industry people with their own, because it's a small place, around 50, 60 kilometers. See, service, everybody can do service. You cannot do service the entire world. Your area, your community, you do service. That is happy. Then only success will come. Everyone has to do service in their own area. I cannot come and do service every day in Delhi or someplace. Maybe in 1 or 2 times I can come and do that. I can pass on my idea to them. But your area, everyone can adapt to their area and do that, then it will be like that. So we started doing this, but some of the farmer did not come to give the land, to put the road. And then convincing is a difficult problem. Then organized a meeting with them. I bring the Tasildar with them, because I had the help when I was doing the Institute of Liberal Studies. I went to Tasildars, collectors, those people, I bring them, talk to them. It's a continuous process. So finally, some people agreed, some people have not agreed. So 1 or 2 years later, they come to know, okay, this industry, this person has got benefited, so we also should benefit. So slowly, the 8,000 people got, in a span of 8 to 9 years, everybody got service mentality, and they came back. See, in that matter, what service point of view I'm telling. First of all, the cutting cost was totally reduced, because my cutting machine will go into the factory, into the field, because it has to get down and go. The road is there. The 8 acres of land or 10 acres of land, in 1.5 days I'll cut it, or maximum 1 day I'll cut. 1 day or 1.5 days I'll cut it. The money in my sugar mill, once you cut and bring to sugar factory, you get the money on the same day. It is not See, the way I'm saying that it is again the support of sugar mill is very important. It's not like the sugar mill in UP, in Maharashtra and Bihar. Uh, if I go one day, I'll tell about sugar industry and the profitability and the acreage gain, variety. That's a huge subject. I'm not going to that. Only service area I'm touching that. See, I told some of the people, so you used to get money in 10 days or 12 days or 15 days after cutting it. Here are getting on the second day in big cash. So you are getting number one. Number two, you are getting a road to your place. And then I will come other in my rural foundation, what I did, I'm going to cover when I'm coming to the next area. And since there is a very good road, I have given them cobalt gas. I have given them light tube lights in 2-3 tube lights in the road, so that 24/7 midnight also they can come from the house. They can go to the main road and come. They can attend. They can go to the second show cinema. They can get down from the bus and walk to that village. So a lot of facilities were there. The girls and females, when they're alone in the house, there is no darkness there in the house. So a lot of plus points were there. In service, if you do one village, two village, three village, four village, because all the 16,000 farmers are not in one village. 40-kilometer, 50-kilometer range, they were situated. So requesting them, going them, it's a huge job. Every day you have to go and do it. That was a very success. So this is one sugar mill. We are having 6 sugar mill in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka put together. So once I got one sugar mill success, when I went to the other state, when I went to Karnataka, those people, first of all, language. We belongs to Tamil and they belongs to Karnataka. They speak a different language. And they don't agree what I am saying. No, we don't want this all your project. We don't want any road. We are happy what we are doing it. But I have, again, I go to my learnings which I learned from the ILS as well as the Lishminara and Burkunda, all those things. If the community to community communication will be faster than the third person come and tell something like that. So we always have one annual festival. We have one very big deity called Banari. Some of the people who listening here, they visited the temple. It's a huge temple. It's this Mata is Santa Suribini. Durga is Santa Suribini, and a huge festival will be there, huge temple. So it is about 10 days festival will be there. So I invited this other factory, Kannada factory, sugar farmers. They come in about 5, 6, 10 buses every day and go for the festival. It is about under 90 kilometers. So bring them, they enjoy that and they have a good lunch and then go back. When they go back, they see the other side farmers, their house, their villages, their roads, their facilities, their school. Then they were asking the farmers, how you are also having 10 acres, I'm also having 10 acres, even I don't have a bike. You are having a Royal Enfield bike, you are having this, you are having that. How come it is possible? They said this much earning we are getting, this much charity we are doing it, this is all whatever this company says. So when I visited next time, the request was different. Why you are not doing to us the same road, the same facility, same service to us? This is what they started. So slowly, instead of me telling, I told the farmer to farmer communication that has gone well. So I have appointed again. See everywhere. See how I brought the drawing master and the things. Normally, when I take the work, I have a teamwork from the office. Always, I have a team. I don't go alone. It has to continue. Service has to continue. Even today, it is continuing it. I'm getting age, but the service should continue. So I select people less than 10, 20 years younger to me and then adopt with me. And then wherever I go, I take them, understand what I'm talking to them and tell them continue this forever. So that here, what happened in my school thought of is, uh, contented life. I told in the beginning service, what is contented life should be there. Very important is patient. If you want to do social service, you need a high patient. It is difficult to do a social service if you don't have patient. So contented life and then no personal agenda at all. No personal agenda at all. So these three, if you inculcate in your activities and then you go forward, you will definitely get a success in that. So like that, every sugar factory we are able to do, and success were there, and then the repayment were doing it. It's because even we get the loan from cane development loan, we also get some 2 years moratorium to give back. We can give in 10 installments. We can repay in 5, 6 years. Easy for us, because our cutting charge and lorry diesel charge and our time management, all equation comes together. So the company one way, but service wise take that agricultures are totally benefited, and their health and their attitude and their behavior, everything has been totally improved. I could see how they were before this road, and then through the road, through the rural development, we have given them sanitation, we have given them light, we have given them gopal gas. It is very important. In fact, some of the village panchayat, we have given them this community washing center, which even Delhi is not having it. We have huge washing machine and drying machine in these centers. When Jairam Ramesh was the rural development minister, I gave the model project. Actually, I will say Usha Shriram was did earlier in northern part of India. Then when we met in some forum, and I was explaining what the community service I'm doing, that he said, "Come and visit my place." When I visited his place, I learned that he is doing a huge job. So I brought the same type, but little more technology were improved, and we brought that technology in our community center. And this most of the workforce today, both husband and wife are going to the job, agriculture, even the family. The sugar, one plus point is that once the water is there, when the sugar cane is grown up, that much requirement of the farmer is not there, except pouring the water or giving every now and on the motor and all. It's all nowadays computerized, or it's all more timer has been fixed, and then things are there. They're so free. So the husband wife have started going. So they have, so every community in the wherever nearby community, I started developing this washerman, this washing machine, drying machine, as a community kitchen also, because we get a lot of the dust, and then with that Gopal cash we develop service for that. They have to pay very, very, very less to entrance fee as 1 rupee for making use of that kitchen. That's all. Because I don't want to give a free of charge. Same thing to have one setup. We have a bunch of cloth is there, one baggage weight that I don't remember correctly. So one baggage weight, we call it 1 rupee. So even 3 or 4 rupees, they'll finish the washing. In 1 hour, they finish, and then they can take the cloth, dry cloth, and go take home. This is what they come. Only on Saturday, Sunday, it takes time. Other day, it works a little time more. And then normally, when I started, now it's not doing it like that because of the power cut, because of the non-availability of the employee. Earlier, every day I used to start this washing machine only after 5 o'clock in the evening and go up to 8 o'clock, because the workers come from the. So it was very helpful, and I used to get the feeling how what is they required. I before applying, before approaching them, I used to ask the Tahsildar, I used to ask the village munsif, and then because they used to have touch with these agriculture farmers and all those things. What is the requirement of them, and then particularly my MD and chairman, they visit, and then they inculcated, and then because they are all from the agriculture family, so they know what their requirements. So that requirement was taken care very nicely. So the relations like husband wife relations are continuing very, very long day, and then so that is one of the reasons that we are making everyday profit in the company, because the whole thing that when I go and give service to them, they give back, they give back the variety, they give back, look after the cane very nicely, they give the water in time, they plan the cultivation, and they execute exact timing, so that by which they are benefiting it. So I used to tell them, last year when you are taking this much money, at least you should have some 2,000 rupees more this year per acre. So plan accordingly. This is what your aim. You cannot immediately have 20,000 per acre unless until some miracle happens. But at least 2,000 rupees you earn more, 3,000 rupees you earn more. So they were doing it, and still it's continuing. That agri farmer things are very continuing it in adopting village and giving them toilet, gas, power. That is very important. Adopting village is very, very important job which we do like that. I can say here, I should definitely thank the bureaucrats. See, I don't believe, not that believe, I don't approach any politician for anything. Even till today, Shivani knows me well. Uh, Only bureaucrats are helping me. In fact, uh, I did the vocational service project because of the bureaucrat, because I was the first person who did the Vice Chancellor's conference in my city. All the Vice Chancellors throughout India came to my city, because of our invitation. And government of India, like very big people, like even the former Vice Chancellor of, Arun Nivekar, and Vyas Ramurthy, the scientist, and Ramarao, and then the Sivadanu Pillai, H.K. Mittal, you name any big people in science and technology and UCG and all Vice Chancellor, they all visited that conference. On the day, I from Government of India represented in NASCOM, Shivani also came at that function. Shiva came to our function. I met her in that hall, in the round table. We are about 5 people sitting. So she was next to me. So I exchanged the card, and then I didn't talk to her much, but she was, when I would talk to her, I understand that she has a heavy potential in academy. We were not good at that time in academy. We were good in farmer. We are good in, some of the area cane, and then some, other product like molasses, and then, dust, and then mud, and then water conversation of that. In our area, we are good. But we are also having engineering division in colleges, and it is functioning because it is a district level, and then we are not having college in district level. In service, if you say that, we are not started invested about 300 crores in the city. We invested the 300 crores only in the village where the sugar factory is there. It is about 65 kilometers from the city, because the whole idea is that this entire thing has come from the 16,000 farmers. So what I did for the farmers back, what service I did that back. So we should have everything only them. They should only benefit. This is what the intention of the company. So we started there, and then it was at that time, it was about it is sometime in 2002 or 3, I remember this conference. You can correct me, Shivani, if I'm wrong.
So I just want to say that we have closing on to the time, and if you can really wrap it up with very important takeaways for all of us in terms of service above self, because now we are now beyond 8:45. So if you can just wrap it up on, for us, it is very important to get your key points about what are the key points for service above self. So if you can wrap it up on that,
see,
it will be very grateful.
in the
Thank you,
beginning
sir.
itself, yes, I'm okay. In the beginning, I was telling that I am telling the real experience, the service about self in my life. See, in vocational service about self in. See, I have brought this NASCOM, this Kiran Karnik, all these guys because of you to this small village. And then we have brought all the lab. Even we got Cisco lab, Sun lab, Microsoft lab, all the lab only to this village because of NASCOM and other things. But this beneficiation were going to the student, not only my village, it has gone to several villages down the line. In fact, I took you to different villages, like I took you to other tier 2 city like Madurai, Trichy, Ernakulam, So the service is not continuing in one place. So it starts from one place, it goes to every place. Unless until you have the mood to do the service, it will not go around the line. Otherwise, it will stop. So if I want to do only to my area, I could have stuck with me, and then, okay, I am benefited. That's all. I did the service. I am not going to do service furthermore. But we should not, what my request is that it is not the question of age or time or something like that. The service should go to the next generation. They should go on continuing it, for which what are the opportunities are available. We should, the exposure will come to everybody. We think if you sit in a place, it will not come. We have to seek the exposure. We search for the exposure and go and find it out. it's if I tell in a coordination way, about you, I was telling, because of you, I brought this entire thing to my place. To bring them, I had to bring the headquarters to my city and village. Then everybody came to that village. Otherwise, difficult. So the service like that. Otherwise, the employable students were not there. Employable students mean they should have these type of courses, additional courses, and that is not available in any of the syllabus. So industry academy meet. So the academy should be placeable to the industry. Then a lot of other small time certificate courses which should add. So this type of services has been given by a particular organization like this TCS Narayan and Ramaturai. All these people has come to me because of you, and then that has gone down the line to other colleges. This is what I wanted to explain. In one more area, I'll just cover up. Particularly the iBank. Because it's bureaucrats' influence and other things, we started the iBank in 1977. And so far we did almost 21 lakhs screen test and almost 8 lakhs free surgery, eye surgery would have been done as of approximately. We have done like that. We have almost 14 cutting edges. We have branches in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Punjab, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Telangana, and so forth. That is totally free services. The society, we don't charge anything. There's a charging section. There's this 28 lakh surgery is totally free surgeries. We did that. Then I should ask who is funding it, how the fund comes. Again, service it is. So it is a long process. I was the first bank recognized by the government of India because how I had went to government and talked to them, the bureaucrat, the connection between the World Bank and the blindness control, how the blindness control started coming, identifying the identity bank, and recognizing the iBank, the how bank cold chain methodology, then distributing the cold chain methodology down the line, what are the service and how many service people are involved in that. They are all doing free of cost. And how many, before going to any villages, how screening test done every Sunday. These are all totally free of cost. Some organization doing it. Service above self means they do totally dedicatedly anticipating anything. Even they bring the food and eat. I remember whenever I go to the camp, I drop them everybody in the morning. Again, if in the half 11:30, I go to the main city, bring everybody food and give them. This is what we are doing it. It is successful. It is very successful. It started in 1983 and still till date we are going it. So with that time, in water management, there's a big thing which we can cover sometime. So thank you very much for opportunity. Time I told you, it is very difficult to manage it. So I'm trying to adjust it.
But
Maybe
you
if
have done great, and we can really bring that water management sometime other day. So I'm sure all of us have, learned a lot about from your experience and your journey. And I think it's, yes, important that service above self has to be, I'm sure it needs a great impetus to be brought back into the fore. And with these words, I thank you once again, and I thank you, Maven Platform, Shabana, ma'am, for giving this opportunity to you, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all of us would have immensely valued and found a lot of points for them as learning. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shabana,
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
you.